It's surprising that crime bosses or drug kingpins or dealers never learn from their mistakes. 37-year-old Rudi Caldwell, who is from the Woolton area, was caught by surprise when police arrested him at his home in April of 2025. This was a major shock. Rudi did not know that he had been part of a large police investigation into the major supply of Class A and Class B. Now, Rudi played up to the ruse of being a licensed cab driver. He did not talk about the fact that he was using encrochat or that he was sending messages constantly on the encrypted platform in order to bring in multiple kilos of white and H and also weed. Now, Rudi assumes that he was doing everything right. He kept the criminal side and the legal side completely separate. As I said, by day he was a licensed cab driver, but by night this guy was making tens of thousands of pounds, probably on a weekly basis. At Liverpool Crown Court, the jury was told that Rudi Caldwell had used encrochat handle Boxbat between March 2020 and June 2020, and he had personally been linked to the supply of at least 16 kg of white, 2 kg of H, and also 14 kg of weed. When the evidence was presented, the quote-unquote taxi driver, Rudi Caldwell, was smart enough to plead guilty to conspiring to supply major amounts of drug. Rudi was caught out after police were able to identify the encrochat user as belonging to Rudi because Rudi had been speaking to fellow criminals and named one of his children in the messages, as well as taking a picture of his CCTV system, which caught the front of his driveway. This was a rookie mistake. As well as supplying Class A and B, Rudi was also using encrochat to discuss selling his licensed cab as well. After all, being a crime boss had brought in a lot of cash. Now, along with 50 other criminals, Merseyside police had successfully arrested Rudi Caldwell in response to Operation Venetic. With the help of the encrypted messages, police were able to build up a case on Rudi, and it was strong. They knew that he was on the cusp of becoming one of the biggest suppliers of white in the Merseyside region, as Rudi was planning to expand his operation on a major scale. The court heard that Rudi Caldwell was making plans to build an underground factory where he could weigh, bulk, press Class A. It was going to be like a conveyor belt system where he was going to pump out kilo after kilo after kilo after kilo. Rudi had used the encrypted platform to speak to an associate who used the handle Rock Forever, and they had tossed back ideas back and forth as to how to remain undetected. The crime bosses considered purchasing and then transporting at least 2 metal containers into the UK and then embedding them underground. It was going to have a ventilation system and an air system too. He also planned to buy a home with a greenhouse with the specific intention to grow and cultivate strains of weed. Now, Rudi was not in the drug business for just money. The 37-year-old got a kick out of playing the boss, but also the gangster. He loved being incognito and secretive to his friends and colleagues, but then talking the big talk with other gangsters and criminals and dealers and other crime bosses, and Rudi had disposable income. Now, Rudi had also planned to get rid of a rival dealer and his partner in order to confiscate their crop. He was quoted as telling his mates and partners, "Let's get busy, I'm all in." And in other messages read out in court, the jury was told that Rudi had already spoken to at least another criminal who used the handle Broad Palm and asked for the payment of 2 kg shipment of Class B. Now, Broad Palm replied by telling Rudi that his own customers were hard work and the money would be a bit late, but not to worry because of course he would make it right. And then, when police stormed Rudi Caldwell's home in April of this year, police had taken possession of at least 2 Rolex watches, which were worth tens of thousands of pounds apiece, as well as cash. Now, it was also said in court that Rudi Caldwell was already known to the police, as he already had 9 previous convictions for 13 offences that included possession of Class A. Therefore, Rudi did not learn his lesson, but again, he did plead guilty in court. Now, Julian Nutter, who defended Rudi Caldwell, told the court he is 37 and of effective good character, despite having previous convictions and being known to handle Class A. He has put himself on courses, he has got a job in prison, he has made the extra effort that is recorded by prison staff. That must give some encouragement that when he was served the undoubtedly lengthy sentence Your Honour will give him today, he will put this behind him and never trouble the courts again. Now again, that's hard to believe because again, he has previous convictions. His defence went on to say that he has done everything in his power to justify the proposition that he has genuine remorse. The remorse eats away at him because every day that he is away from his family, he is well aware of what his partner is going through. Every day he spends in jail is hard and is taxing to him, even extra punishment to him, and of course to his partner, he having to put her in that position in the first place. But he has brought this up on himself. The defence went on to say again, he has been put down essentially as a middleman, someone who is a fixer of deals. It appears that box bat is subordinate to bond bat in some way. There is an element of the market stall here. This is an element of bigging things up and I can get you anything you want. It is someone essentially trying to banter his way through things. This is not the big stuff. This really is not a big time operation, despite already facilitating deals worth 16 kg of Class A. This is a smooth operator trying to talk his way into other people's deals and getting himself a small cut. There appears to be somebody up the tree from him. Now, Rudi Caldwell admitted conspiracy to supply H, white and also weed, and he appeared via video link to H&P Liverpool. The judge listened intensely to Rudi Caldwell's defence solicitor laying out the implications of Rudi's crime. However, the judge says that Rudi Caldwell would have to be jailed for at least 12 years, and if he did not plead guilty, of course that number would have risen. Now, when this sentence was read out, Rudi Caldwell showed no reaction. Of course, because he's already been in the jail system previously, he would have known what kind of sentence he was looking at, and that's probably why he pled guilty at the first early opportunity. Now, to say that he will never trouble the courts again is 90% sure a big fib. Let me know your thoughts on the case. Was the jail time sufficient for the crime committed? Stay safe, safe.